Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan. I am just one reader and I am here to review and discuss the Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. Beautiful, beautiful edition. I adore this cover. The artwork is stunning. Love the way that it's been done. So I'm just gonna put it right here. So the Essex Serpent is one of those books that everybody loved. I feel like I came very late to this party. This book was really big in 2016 and then in 2017, and now we are starting 2018, and I am really glad that I finally picked it up. And just on a side note, I am incredibly happy and grateful for the January that I've been having. I have read, I think, 6 or 7 books so far into, in January 2018, and I've been really surprised. I'm really happy with the books that I've read, and to have this book at the beginning of the year is just kind of a great omen. And hopefully, I will continue to read more books like this. Now, The Essex Serpent is a book that I don't want to discuss plot wise. I really have no interest whatsoever in telling you guys about the plot and what it's about. I feel like I wouldn't be doing anything useful if I were to do that. I honestly feel like that's something that you can check out by yourselves on, online, or in any review you can find a synopsis for the plot of this book. So I won't go into that. I just want to say what I loved about this book. Firstly, I just want to say again that this book was really big. It still is, but there was an amount of hype and popularity surrounding this book that was just incredible. It was really, really incredible. So whenever that happens, I feel a kind of weird mix, a weird combination of feelings. Of course, I want to enjoy the book and I want to get on board with the people that have enjoyed it. But on the other hand, I feel kind of apprehensive about it because there have been some books lately that I've read lately that have been really hyped and very popular and very, beloved by everyone, and that I haven't liked. I'm talking about Tin Man by Sarah Winman. I didn't like that book. The Life Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb, which everybody cries about how magnificent it is. I just couldn't do it. I didn't get it. The Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. No, 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 not for me. Call Me by Your Name by Andre Aciman. It was kind of okay, but ultimately I didn't really like it. A Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Marr was a book that everybody told me would be my favorite book of all time. I didn't like it. I didn't get it. It was not for me. So, in light of those experiences that I have had recently, I started reading The Essex Serpent and I was quite uneasy. And I was feeling this kind of contradictory thing of, okay, I want to enjoy it, I have to enjoy it, but on the other side, feeling like you have to enjoy it becomes a pressure, which in turn restrains you or hinders you from relaxing and actually enjoying it. So there's this kind of weird thing that happens when you go into a very hyped book. But thankfully, Sarah Perry is an amazing writer. She is a very talented woman, a magnificent author, and she knows how to woo you in. She knows how to spin this yarn and tell this tale and suck you in and immerse you in this Victorian England era of amazingness. By page 40 or 50 or even earlier, I knew that I was in. So I was completely sucked in. This is a book that, let me show you, it's not very short, but it's not very long. It is kind of there, in the middle. It's 415 pages long, so I expected to read this in like 7 days. I read it in 2 days and a half. That's how great and how exciting this book is and how immersive this book is. Now, let me tell you about the things that I enjoyed the most about this novel and which I think are the things that make this book as great as it is. Firstly, well, this is in no particular order, but firstly, the language. The use of language, I mean, come on. Sarah Perry knows how to write. The use of language is incredibly gorgeous. It is poetic and lyrical. She uses a lot of imagery. The choice of words is crazy. I found myself rereading paragraphs over and over, which is not something that I do a lot of. But in this book, it served the purpose of really immersing the reader in this world and in this character's world. Secondly, the characters. This is a very character-based novel. It's not plot-based at all. There's actually a very intriguing, mysterious, suspenseful kind of plot, but it really is not about the plot. This is all about the people, the characters, and the place, the setting. So we follow London and then this village in Essex, and we sort of go back and forth and back and forth, and there are some moments in the novel that we spend just exclusively in Essex, and then some of them in London, and just the sense of place is so rich and so real. What I mean to say is that this is a really atmospheric novel. But the characters really are the heart of the Essex Serpent. We have a very clear protagonist. She is a woman and she's a widow, and she embarks upon this kind of adventure, and we follow her. And she is a feminist, and she not only is she a feminist, but she is also a character that stands for feminism, which I love. And we follow her, but there are some other characters that are so integral and so amazing, and it actually becomes like an ensemble cast of characters, and by the end of the book you feel as attached to them as you do to the central protagonist, to this lady. So I really adored that part. The characters are so lifelike, so rich and real, and they have shades of gray. They are just characters that stay with you. In particular, I really have to talk about the dynamic between Cora, who is the protagonist, and this other man, Will, who is a kind of priest or parson or whatever in Essex, and they have this kind of relationship, this friendship that they develop, and we follow that friendship a lot, and it's just one of those character dynamics that will stay with me forever. I am pretty sure that these characters will stay with me for the rest of the year, and I will not be surprised if, come the end of 2018, The Essex Serpent is one of my favorite books of the year. It is amazing. And also, the other thing that I think is really one of the highlights is the themes. There is a huge amount of themes. It's a very rich book thematically. It deals with feminism, science versus religion, tradition versus progress, light versus darkness, loss, memory, myth. There's just so much packed in this beautiful, beautiful book. I can't believe it. And it's also a really fast-paced, really incredibly fun read. At least it was for me. I read it in 2 days and a half, as I said. Um, my only recommendation for you, if you want to read it, is I actually recommend you to read it quickly because I think it's the type of book that, because it is historical fiction and because it is very literary and very, very beautifully written, I think you could potentially get lost in the writing and it could make the experience feel slow. And it's not a slow book, but I think there's a risk of feeling slow. So my recommendation is read it quickly and just experience this magnificent story. So that was my review for The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. I hope you enjoyed. I gave this book 4 stars on Goodreads, but it's more like a 4.5, which is the same rating that I gave to Fingersmith by Sarah Waters. I adored these books, and I still don't feel like this deserves 5 stars, only because I usually save my 5 stars for books that have a very personal connection and that will become, like, I always say that books that I gave 5 stars to are books that I want to marry and have babies with and get a mortgage with and go to Disneyland with and go to Hogwarts with. And this was just not quite as perfect, like, but it's very, very close. It is an amazing book. Thank you for watching.